Have you ever wondered, could I have lived before this life? It's one of those questions that lingers quietly in the background of our minds. Not something we ask every day, but sometimes when we're staring at the stars or feeling a strange pull to a place we've never been, it surfaces. We're not here to give you a yes or no. In fact, the beauty of Eastern wisdom, especially Buddhism, is that it doesn't force blind belief. It invites you to look within, to observe, to question, to experience. There are real-life stories, like that of James Leininger, a young boy in the US who recalled vivid details of being a World War II pilot. His case shocked researchers, even skeptical ones. How could a toddler know such specific names, dates, and military facts? Buddhism teaches that we don't need to cling to belief, but to open the door of curiosity. What if understanding past lives isn't about superstition, but about understanding who we are, why we suffer, and how we can live more consciously? In this video, we'll explore reincarnation, karma, no-self, and the stream of consciousness. Not to escape life, but to embrace it with greater clarity and responsibility. Let's begin the journey. Have you ever felt an inexplicable pull, like you've been somewhere before, lived a life you can't quite recall? Maybe you've wondered, late at night under a starry sky, did I exist before this life? It's not about proving anything. Buddhism doesn't demand blind belief. It simply invites us to open our minds, to explore, to observe, to experience, and ultimately, to understand. Think about the story of James Leininger, a toddler in Kansas, who at 2 began vividly recalling details of a World War II pilot, his name, the plane model, even how he died. His parents and researchers were stunned by the specificity. What could explain it? Coincidence, imagination, or evidence of something deeper? Today, let's walk together through concepts many find controversial: reincarnation, karma, no-self, and see how they might guide us to live more mindfully, more responsibly. No sleight of hand, just a sincere curiosity about who we are beneath the surface. The heart of the matter. In the next 10 minutes, we'll journey into 4 key chapters. 1. Reincarnation and the flow of consciousness. 2. Impermanence and change. 3. What carries on, the mind stream. 4. Karma, responsibility, and living consciously. What is reincarnation? Reincarnation, as Buddhism teaches, isn't about a soul being reborn. Instead, think of it as a stream of consciousness, like a river. The water constantly changes, but the river continues. In the same way, our mind stream carries forward patterns, emotions, unresolved experiences from past lives. That means death isn't an end, but a transition. Imagine releasing a rubber band that snaps back. Your energy, your karmic residue, flows into the next existence. It's not mystical, it's natural. Pause and ask yourself, what feels unfinished in your life today? A lingering fear, a skill you never dared to learn. These might be echoes from your own mind stream. Impermanence and transformation. Everything that exists is impermanent. Our bodies, our thoughts, even the building blocks of the universe shift and flow. Buddhism breaks down our existence into 5 aggregates: form, feelings, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness, all of which are in constant flux. When we cling to any part of this is me, this is mine, we sow the seeds of suffering. But when we recognize that nothing lasts forever, we can begin to release, to live more in the moment, and to find peace in change. Have you ever held on to a relationship or a job long after it stopped serving you? That's attachment speaking. Understanding impermanence gives us the permission to let go. The continuity of consciousness. Where does consciousness come from? Western science often searches for it in the brain, but in Buddhism, consciousness isn't just a byproduct of neurons. It's a foundational force, not created by the brain, but merely expressed through it. Think of a candle lighting another candle. No soul jumps from one to the next, but the flame continues. Our mind stream, carrying thoughts, emotions, and karmic imprints, passes forward in the same way. These imprints guide how we're reborn. Compassion nurtured today may bloom as resilience or joy in another life. Anger unresolved may carry forward as fear or frustration. But here's the key. There is no eternal self doing this. It's not a person who moves from life to life. It's a process, a stream of causes and effects. Isn't it amazing? Even if we drop the idea of a permanent me, our intentions still matter deeply. Karma and the engine of rebirth. Karma is often misunderstood. It's not divine punishment or fate. Karma, in Buddhist teaching, is intentional action, and more importantly, the momentum it creates. Imagine tossing a pebble into a still lake. That ripple spreads. Some effects return quickly, some may not surface for lifetimes. A kind word, a cruel thought, a selfless act, all plant seeds. Some bloom tomorrow, some in decades, some in lives we've yet to know. Take the Buddha's teaching in the Kula-Kama Vibhanga Sutta. Generosity can lead to wealth. Compassion can lead to beauty. Violence can lead to short life. These aren't rules. They're patterns, revealed over time. And here's the good news. Karma isn't destiny. It's modifiable. Through awareness, we can transform old patterns and create new ones. Each conscious moment is a chance to shift our trajectory. The paradox of no self. Who are you? Really? If we remove your memories, your habits, your body, what remains? Buddhism teaches the idea of anatta, or non-self. There is no fixed I within us, just 5 ever-shifting components. Think of the ship of Theseus. If every part of a ship is replaced over time, is it still the same ship? The same applies to us. You aren't the same person you were 10 years ago. Not mentally, not physically. So when we speak of rebirth, it's not a soul being transferred, but rather the causes and conditions continuing, like one flame lighting another. Why does this matter? Because when we let go of the idea of a fixed me, we also let go of fear, pride, and self-centeredness. We live more freely. We act more compassionately. We become less trapped by ego. When science meets spiritual wisdom. Science and Buddhism aren't enemies. They're allies asking different questions about the same mystery. What is consciousness? Neuroscientists face what they call the hard problem. How does subjective experience arise from physical matter? There's no clear answer. But in Buddhism, consciousness isn't made by the brain. It's channeled through it. That might sound far-fetched until you consider stories like this. Some patients, moments before death, regain clarity even with severely damaged brains. People who receive heart transplants report memories or cravings from their donors. Meditation has been shown to increase gray matter in the brain, especially in areas linked to empathy and awareness. What if what we call intuition, or past life recall, is simply access to deeper layers of the mind? This isn't science versus spirituality. This is a chance to expand both. Living with rebirth in mind. If you knew that your actions today would ripple through not just this life, but the next, how would you live? In Buddhism, life isn't a single story. It's a series of chapters. Rebirth isn't just a cosmic curiosity. It's a call to live with deeper awareness. There are tools for this: mindfulness, reflection, and the 5 daily contemplations. I am of the nature to age. I am of the nature to get sick. I am of the nature to die. Everything I love will change. My only true possession is my actions. These aren't morbid. They're empowering. They anchor us to what matters: compassion, clarity, presence. Every fear, talent, or unexplainable longing you carry might be a whisper from your past selves. And every kind act today becomes a gift to your future. This isn't about fear of karma. It's about the freedom of responsibility. Live wisely, love deeply, practice often. The next life may depend on it. A life of meaning, not dogma. So, do you need to believe in rebirth? Not necessarily. Buddhism never demands blind faith. It simply invites us to observe, to pay attention to how our thoughts, words, and actions ripple through our lives, and perhaps beyond. Whether or not you believe in past or future lives, there's something profound in asking, what impact am I making right now? Thinking about rebirth isn't meant to scare us. It's meant to wake us up, to remind us that each moment carries meaning, that the way we live matters, not just for ourselves, but for others, for this world, and maybe for the next. And even if all we have is this one life, what greater purpose than to live it with compassion, clarity, and care? You don't need a doctrine. You just need presence. So take a breath, be kind, and keep planting seeds of goodness, because in this life or the next, they will bloom. If this video sparked something in you, consider subscribing or watching our next video on Buddhist tools for daily mindfulness.